is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Thursday.
The plenty.
What date is this?
Thursday, the day of plenty mangoes.
Day of plenty mangoes. That's always good.
I mean, it's also the 13th, but that seems boring. Thursday, the day of plenty mangoes.
But it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is C.A. Newry and I shall be your host for today as we have a dynamic discussion about coding. Now, mind you, I tend to invite this guest every year because of the opportunities give to particularly women. Mm-hmm. When I say women, I talk about young children, right? Girls in coding, right? The opportunity for that. Because we need more females to be involved in what an acronym is, what do you call that?
STEM.
STEM.
And STEAM.
STEAM now, S-T-E-A-M.
Right. They add the arts.
Yes. And usually we have a Bahamian who lives abroad and she comes down.
Meaning the astronaut, Aisha Bo?
No, Trinica Roll.
Oh, I know.
She's a big thing.
Trinica. Yeah.
She's a big thing, and she normally come down and host the event.
Okay.
Right? So I met up with her. Like communicate with her back and forth every year about the event. And then all of a sudden, every year I get a phone call from Simonet. Simonet's a distant cousin of mine. Yeah.
You mean that boy there? He's
Simonet.
your cousin too? He's my cousin too?
Yeah. He is big thing in government. They build roads. You know what I rang about on Village Road? The big thing, what we complain about all the time when
that one. Yeah.
On Village Road by QC.
Yeah.
He was in charge of that.
Okay.
Similar was in charge of that.
Yeah.
And then he was, last time he was here, he's incorporating how STEM got him into that field.
Into construction.
Engineering.
And
whatever it is.
Okay.
So I said, man, anytime you're having your STEM program, right, your coding program, come on the show. Come on the show and explain to us how young Bahamians can benefit from being a part of that. And because I have young children and they say coding is the future. I said, okay.
Did you know I'm a coding expert?
What can you code?
And first of all, C+.
You can C+ what? That's a grade?
See, you don't even know. That's how I know I'm expert. Morse code.
You can do Morse code.
Security code, doors and phones.
You're a hacker.
No. I'm a code expert.
Yeah.
I could even code switch.
You can code switch. Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to have you in studio this morning.
Introduce yourself formally. Then we go to Trinica and see if she's on Zoom because she's always coming from far before she comes to the Bahamas and start her program. So introduce yourself formally. Introduce the program that is happening. Yeah. Start off also with the date so we can have that umbrella on because I know we have one more guest supposed to be coming in and hopefully she comes in.
Oh, yes, she is.
Oh, see, just talking
right on time.
Right? And then we'll see if Trinica is online that she can give an overall summary on how she live abroad and why she comes back to the Bahamas to give back, right? So go ahead there, Simon.
Okay, so good morning. Thank you for having me on the show. Good morning, Bahamas. My name is Albrion Simonet Jr. I am a professional civil and geotechnical engineer, and I am also one of the volunteer instructors for the Beta Camp.
Okay.
Why you say professional, say it again, professional
geotechnical and civil engineer.
Why you say professional? Because when I hear geotechnical and civil engineer, I assume you're a professional.
Yeah.
Are there bush mechanic, geotechnical engineers moving through the Bahamas?
I said professional to say that I'm licensed in the Bahamas.
You're licensed in the
Awesome,
Bahamas.
good. No, that's great to know the language.
Yes.
So people know what to expect when they're speaking.
Correct.
To people, to professionals.
That is correct.
And you're one of the advisors, one of the
correct.
What do you call
the
instructors.
Okay. So we have the Beta stands. So let me introduce Beta a bit. Beta stands for Bahamas Engineering and Technology Advancement. It is a non-profit group that's been in the Bahamas now for some 11 years. This is the 11th camp.
It's the 11th camp, but the 10 years.
The 10th
Directly into the mic.
Yes, and so we've been exposing Bahamian students to STEM. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and math. So this has been something we've volunteered our time to do to bring other students into this this opportunity of career.
So let's go to Trinika, and hopefully she's on Zoom and that we connected with
Right.
her. And Trinika, if you can able to hear me, I want you to
I
give
can hear
a history why you started this, who you partner with, how it came about, and then give some information on who should be attending this seminar thing.
Yes, definitely. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bahamas. Thank you so much again for the opportunity for having us on the air. My name is Trinika Dukes. I'm currently the president and co-founder for Beta, as Albion mentioned just now, Bahamas Engineering and Technology Advancement. Currently live in Denver, Colorado, and I'm a biomedical and mechanical engineer working in the med tech industry. And in terms of the history of our program, the reason why we started this many years ago is because myself and my co-founder, DeAndre Wilson here, Jarika, she lives in Canada and is also Bahamian from Nassau. And we started this program because we recognized that there was a gap in terms of students understanding and knowing what these careers were and why it was so important to move in this direction. And so we've always felt as though not only just that there's a gap, but we need to prepare the future of the Bahamas for those skills and the labor that's needed to support innovation and development, because right now we feel like there's a gap there, a huge gap. And so we've been working on this program over the past 11 years to fill that gap and to make sure we're preparing students for the careers of the future. And that's why we've been doing this.
And now I'm familiar with all of your instructors, except this one who's here today. So I want her to introduce herself, right? So the listening audience will know who she is. And also I want to know who will be the target audience for this year's Beta Camp.
Good morning. My name is Shante Cargill. I am an electrical engineer. I'm the lead electrical engineer instructor for Beta Camp. I work as a microgrid control engineer by profession. The target audience for Beta Camp is usually grades 7 to 9. We've extended it because we have noticed that a lot of students have been coming back saying, hey, we'd still like to participate in Beta Camp. So we've extended it to the 11th grade and ages 11 to 16. So those are our target ages and grades for Beta Camp.
So 11 through 16, 11 years old through 16-year-old, grade 7 through grade
11.
11. Go ahead,
So
Erin.
those who have completed grade 7 through 11.
Go ahead.
Okay. Are there any prerequisites? Are there any prerequisites? And is there anything I could do to kind of prepare my child for camp? Any resources, reading material, websites where they could begin interacting with some coding or activities that they will also experience at the camp?
So the whole purpose of Beta Camp is to be introductory.
Okay.
So the purpose is to introduce Bahamians and our young students to this. So we are learning from fresh. So there are no prerequisites as it stands.
Okay.
So the prerequisite is just age and grade.
Okay.
All right.
Simonette, I need a breakdown. We have parents listening now. So, I always want my child to go into sciences and STEM, and they should be interested in coding, especially this new age education, right?
Yes.
But I don't understand what that means. What exactly will they be learning or have access to at the Beta Camp?
Okay. So the Beta Camp 2024 is being hosted from July 22nd to July 27th at the Life for Key School.
How much? That's a week? How much days?
That is 1 week. Yes,
1
sir.
week, okay.
It starts on Monday, concludes on the Saturday. Our theme for this year is actually Ignite, Inspire, and Innovate. And so our mission is to get our students in this camp to actually do these things, to ignite, inspire, innovate. And of course, we want to inspire them to pursue technical solution problems. A scientist, a technologist, an engineer, math, these are tools that we use to solve problems. And so engineers, which is the primary base of background of the instructors for this camp, we teach students how to solve problems. We want to see them look at technical challenges in our country and apply scientific solutions to solve those problems. So during the camp, they could look to be exposed to hands-on experiences, actually learning about technical principles. So they would actually learn to run circuits. They would learn how to look at different materials. They would be exposed to different construction materials in the civil engineering field.
Trinika, right?
Yes.
Which engineers do you have now a part of this program? Like when you start, how many engineers will be there to assist? And also, how many kids can you facilitate and make space for?
Yeah, definitely. So I think right now we probably have a mix of about 15 or so engineers supporting the program from an instruction perspective. And then as far as students that we expect to be a part of the program, I think we can accommodate about 75 students or so within the program this year.
15 of the top engineers in the country, and of course, you and your partner come from abroad with that U.S. experience, will be in country training, using that word, giving knowledge, introductory knowledge to at least 75 Bahamian students.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And I want to add to that too and say that over the past, like while the number for this year is 75, but over the past 10 years of doing this, this being our 11th year, we've touched over 600 students across the Bahamas. And I think Albrion and Shante have the stats on some of the students have actually gone off to pursue degrees in engineering. Some have graduated and some are still studying as we speak.
600 students over 10 years. Now,
Yes.
we can make it 680 because I sneak in and bring it forward with me. That's a lot of resources. Who are your partners? Who's helping to provide the sort of technical resources available for the kids to work on? And then I heard a bit about what they're going to be doing, but I need to know. I'm putting my niece on timeout. I restricted her from all electronics. And every time I turn around, she find a way to use, and I take her phone, she's on the tablet. I take the tablet, she's on the little handheld device. I take the handheld device, she's using the smart TV. I turn off the TV. I tell a girl, we gonna have to watch ZNS. I turn off the TV. She used the fridge to talk to her friends. You ain't gonna be teaching these kids how to do that, eh? How to hack into my devices when they're on punishment.
Definitely not. Edison Henschel is our software engineering lead instructor. Then he has a whole team and cohort of other people that support him. And so I don't think we teach them necessarily how to hack, but they do obtain the skills necessary to know how to code and build websites, build games, things like that.
No, let's go detail about that. Like conclusion of what these kids will be learning. You mentioned websites and then you said coding. Can you go say specific things that we can understand? Okay, I see it.
Will they leave the camp having created an app, maybe as individuals or as groups? Will they have an opportunity to create an app, a working app? What type of things will they be doing?
Yeah, so I can add to this, and then I'll let Shante and Albion do the same thing. But in essence, I can say specifically, for example, in the biomedical and mechanical engineering streams, last year, some of the things that the students built, and we expect to do the same this year as well, is they will build an ECG monitor. They'll walk away with that in their hand. They will build a bionic hand, right? So showing them pretty much how robotic hands work, right, or a prosthetic hand. So every day that the intention is to make sure that students are gaining theoretical knowledge, they're understanding the principles of math and science and how we apply that in engineering to build technology. And once they get those foundational principles, which are pretty much math, physics, chemistry, things like that, then we actually go and we build something. So every day they are building something. They can take these things home with them at the end of the day.
What do you mean? They're taking things home?
Yes, Mr. Newry. When we build this robotic arm so that we could reach our hand into the dilly tree and the mango tree to pick fruit and not worry about the wasps and the raccoons biting me, that's what we're going to beta camp for this year?
Yes.
What else will they be learning?
So as far as the software side, they will be able to build mini apps as well as games and websites. We've also done some Internet of Things projects and to be able to send information from sensors to microchips and microcomputers. In the electrical field, as I'm the electrical instructor, I can speak from what we have built. Like the students have built simple circuits, such as being able to turn lights on and off with light switches, being able to use different types of sensors to turn on and off a circuit. So they'll be actually able to build a circuit with their own hands. Last year, we did a electric motorboat. So we actually were able to put the boat into a pond and let them race the boats, and they were able to take that home with them. So building those things that have hands-on experience.
So we could build a little system with a sensor and a switch, and when somebody walked too close to my mango tree, the light will turn on, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mango tree sensor.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Yes.
And you as a engineer, just structural engineer, what you do again?
So I'm a geotechnical and civil engineer, so I focus on the ground. So
I know what civil engineer is. That's geotechnical. I don't know what you're talking about.
Very polite.
Underground.
Civil engineers are the polite engineers. Okay?
And then geotech is underground, so I deal a lot with the underground. So in the civil stream, we like to expose the students to soil. We actually play in dirt. We play with rocks. And so that's a big part of what I do as a professional is playing in the dirt. And so I allow the students to play with water, play with dirt, and see how the water interacts with the beach sand to give them an idea of how coastal processes work. So that's a part of understanding, when we build on the beach or we build near a beach or we restrict building on a beach, is to help them understand you have to build a certain way to protect the beach because the beach is a part of who we are.
Trinica, how many disciplines are there during this camp?
7. There's 7 different disciplines.
You got to tell us in detail. Go ahead.
But in essence, there's biomedical engineering, there's civil and environmental, where Al is the instructor. Right. We have chemical engineering, where DeAndre is the instructor for that one. And then we also have electrical. You have Shantae there. There's also mechanical, where we have Chadwin and Markia are going to be the instructors there, and I'm supporting them there too. And then we also have data science and software engineering. So we have 7 different disciplines that we're offering at this year's camp.
Is that Chadwin Hanna? That name?
Yes, Chadwin Hanna. Yeah.
Cousins, more cousins.
Only
more
one
cousins.
Chadwin I know in the Bahamas, right? So that's what I say. Is a Chadwin Hanna. Let's talk price, right? This sound pricey, and I know it's a week long, but you brilliant scientists.
So let me ask you, what do you think something like this would cost?
I don't know.
You just have to take a guess.
I heard Life Key helping sponsor. They having it at school, so I said, Lord, this can be pricey.
I figure for 5 days of camp, how long?
It's
in the day?
From 8 to 5.
Including
all day?
Including lunch, including lunch and snack?
Yes.
The lunch and snack included?
Yes.
Okay.
Reasonably, with resources cost, if I had to go retail and buy everything, it'd probably cost $100 a day for each student, $500 for the whole camp.
I'll go with $500 with you, Aaron.
So the cost for the entire week, everything included, is $150.
No, sorry.
That's $30 a day.
You're saying $150 can pay for the entire week?
For the entire week. That's no registration fee, just the $150 for the entire
When
camp.
the due date, I mean, I know how much money.
That includes that includes paraphernalia too, because nobody leave without a Beta Camp T-shirt and a Beta Camp backpack.
I guess they get a shirt too?
And
Yes.
a Beta Camp water bottle.
Well, give me the price again,
$150. But in order to make this happen, as we have stated, we are a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So we rely heavily on sponsorship. Because if we calculate the cost is, like you say, about $500 to $600 is the actual cost to host each student. But because we want to make this accessible as possible to as many Bahamians as possible, we want to keep that price as low and accessible as possible. So that is why we decided $150 would be a price range that could accommodate as many Bahamians as possible.
So I in the city, right? Erin is bougie. She comes from people.
Suburban.
You come from people.
Suburban.
I in the city, so 1 or 2 of my people them can have some challenges, right? I mean, I'm not sure if you all give scholarships or how many scholarships we give or discount or anything like that.
Or is this a great opportunity to speak to potential donors and sponsors to think about
Yeah, last
sponsoring a
time
child?
when Ms. Roll was here, they had people who said they'll pledge and take care of 1 or 2 children.
Yeah, so we're still open to that. We're actually actively still sponsoring and still seeking sponsors for the camp. We had actually, we are contemplating whether or not we would host Beta Camp this year because of resource issues. But the outcry was loud enough from parents and students that we had to host. And we decided to cut down from 2 weeks to 1 week because of the issue with resources.
Yeah.
But like I said, we are still inquiring and pushing for sponsors to be able to cover the cost. And I would also like to add that none of our instructors are paid instructors. All of our instructors
Similar to
are
doing this for free?
Yes.
volunteer. So the cost that we're requesting is just to pay for the cost of camp.
Question. Sorry about that, Aaron.
Yeah.
If I want to be a sponsor, if someone's listening now and say, okay, I want 2, 3 more children to get covered, I want to pay their $150 to cover them. Who do I contact? Where do I call? Where do I email to say, hey, I have this $500, put this towards what you're doing. Make sure to feed the kids some good.
So the best email to contact would be contact at wearebeta.co. So not com, just co. So our website is www.wearebeta.co.
Now, code and talk. Why y'all have CO and not COM or not .org or not .edu? Why you have .co at the end of your website?
I read .net.
Oh yeah, or See, he did some coding .net.
We have to give Edison a call on that one.
Well, actually, we are working on switching to .org. We actually want to be. It's supposed to be coming this year, but as far as my understanding, .co is more technical.
Okay, so that would, when I see CO, I know that I'm now going to like a tech-based website. They tech people, they talking techie things. So when I say EDU, I know I go into a university
Yes.
or a research space. Org, I know I go into sort of a civil society, organizational space. It's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So once again, our website is wearebeta.co. That's wearebeta.co. And on the website, you'd be able to find links to sign up as a volunteer, to sign up as a student. Also, the dates again is July 22nd to July 27th at Laifiki School under the theme Ignite, Inspire, Innovate. And we are open to receive volunteers as well to assist.
Now, transportation. Is there any support for transportation for young people? Like, do you have a central pickup point? Like, I could just get my child there and then you guys take them the rest of the way?
Right now, we are looking at that option because we have heard that that being an issue.
Yeah.
So we are looking at having a central point. But as stated earlier, that would also depend on what our sponsorship would look like. So if there is an organization out there that is willing to sponsor busing from a central location to Laifiki, we are definitely willing and open.
All your tour bus companies,
Yes. We are
Island
ready.
Experience,
Yes.
the Simonet one, the other one, the
We are open to receive a tour
All
bus
your-
company sponsor.
Yeah.
Feel free to drop us an email. Drop us an email. Go on our website, drop a link there, and you'd be able to connect with us, and we would be more than willing to receive.
Let's talk success stories. And Trinika can join in on this conversation too. Past graduates, those who've been there for 1, 2, 3 terms, 3 years. Hey, every year I go into this, right? Where are they now? Who do we know? What school did they attend? Do they pursue this type of engineering, this computer aspiration, or they say, man, thanks for this opportunity. I can go do plumbing.
Well, yeah, we have a variety of students, and there are some students that we have been following or who we've worked closely with. There's other students who we definitely need to follow up with and see where they are now. But some of the students, we have a list of some of the students that who you can call off by doing engineering or currently studying engineering. We have students like Kenrick Stubbs, who is studying Carleton, who has just graduated with a mechanical engineering degree. Tyler Adderley studying chemical and biomedical engineering. Shamard Bowe studying civil. Nikitra Barb studying mechanical engineering. Katie and Lavardi, who is graduating high school right now and has been through the camp. I think she was accepted as a younger applicant, so she's been through the camp and is currently going to study at FAMU. We have a Johnny Moss, who is going off to study chemical engineering at Howard University. He has been through Beta Camp, and he is also out of Beta Camp. He was a volunteer with the civil stream and the electrical stream. So he is going off to study chemical engineering, and I think he's minoring in electrical engineering as well. We also have William Moss, who is going off to study software engineering. And some of these students have actually been working closely with some of our instructors as mentors and mentees relationship, and we've also assisted them and directed them into what programs might be beneficial to them, and even assisted with how to apply for scholarships or where they can look to apply for scholarships, because that is what this organization is about. Like, we are not just here to just throw some information at them and leave them. We also want to be like a mentoring and that middle ground between where students can go, because many of us had that issue growing up. We didn't know who to go to and where to go for this information.
Here's another partner. Remember our friend Mr. Newry, Dr. Thane Campbell?
Yes.
Deep Science Ventures. We need to partner.
Yeah.
We need to get Deep Science Ventures to be a partner with Beta Camp to ensure that you can expand your network of technical expertise support and technical resource support, access to tablets and things like that. I want to put 2 ideas on the table. I'm hoping that somebody will hear these ideas and decide to sponsor the camp. Hopefully, the camp could explore these ideas with the kids. We got this thing in the Bahamas called coconut tree. Apparently, we got millions of them across the archipelago. Coconut trees produce coconut cloth.
Okay, but we're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll come back and learn more about Beta Camp, right? Go into details on how people can register, where they can go and see like past activities at the Beta Camp, and just go into detail of the history of what all is happening. I just like to remind people that Unity Lodge number 17, the Prince Hall Origin National Compact, right? They having a Father's Day celebration. They having an open house, Aaron. They said all the men can come and see what they do, learn about the lodge in general. They said they have a lot of pastors inside the lodge. And I said, they have pastors inside the lodge? And they say, yeah. So this day, today, June 13th, 2024, at Prince Hall Origin Meeting Space, upstairs of JEM Plaza, which is Pitt Road, at 7:30 p.m. They're inviting all Masonic jurisdiction to come, and they're catering food. I know once it's free food, I normally come and sit down. And so if they want to explain what they want to explain while I eat, so be it. Right? 7:30 today at the Prince Hall Origin National Compact, which is going to be on Pitt Road today at 7:30. Yeah, they say pass by and come eat. So I'll do that. Okay? Anyway, we'll be right back.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's gonna be a hot summer. Get ready for the NACAC Athletics 3rd Annual New Life Invitational as the race to Paris continues. Join us on Sunday, June 16th at the original Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium as Team Bahamas and over 170 international track and field athletes from over 18 countries compete for another chance to qualify for the Paris Olympics. Gates open at 5 p.m. Races start at 6 p.m. Don't miss the exciting individual races and relays from world champions and Olympians. Watch the epic showdowns between countries from around the world like Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, the United States, Canada, Liberia, and our very own Team Bahamas as they all battle in one of their last chances to qualify for Paris. Buy your tickets today at nacacparis.com or NACACparis.com. That's the New Life Invitational, Sunday, June 16th. It's gonna be hot. You don't want to miss it.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport convenience stores, Western Bakery, De Gregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama Market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio AM. I really noticed that we had callers. Let me let the callers come in right now. But before we let the callers come in, we go back to Trinika Roll. Is Trinika Roll Dukes, right? You're married now. Trinika, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Mm-hmm.
Trinika Roll Dukes now, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I call you by your full name, Mrs. Dukes, right? Because I remember by your maiden name. I want to talk about sponsors. Who are sponsoring you now?
Yeah, definitely. And we want to really make sure we highlight Life for Key International School for being such a huge sponsor to this year's camp, specifically in providing in-kind sponsorship of the space. So really huge shout out to Duranda Davis and Principal Barnard for really taking the time to meet with us, but also emphasize the value and the importance they see in the program and the work that we're doing. So we really want to say thank you to them for providing a space for us to be there this year. And then also wanted to highlight RF Bank, a new sponsor to this year's program. So we want to say thank you to them as well for being part of what we're doing and making an impact on students, as well as, of course, Cloud Care, that's been a continued and long-term sponsor of Beta Camp. And I believe they've been sponsoring us for the past 7 to 8 years. And so this is a huge partner for us, and we want to say we appreciate them as well.
I have a caller who wants to engage, so let's do that now. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear us? Caller, can you hear me? One. Caller can hear me twice, and caller is gone. So let's continue.
I also wanted to add in Doctors Hospital, who's also sponsored us for a few the past few years as well, who has said that they would be sponsoring as well.
Doctors Hospital?
Yes, Doctors
Good shout out to
Hospital.
Doctors Hospital. I appreciate that, right? Let's talk about the volunteers, because that's a different program, right? You have campers who come to learn and learn about that. And then there are volunteers who oversee. Do the volunteers have to be like past graduates of the program? And I also want to know year 1, year 2, year 3. If my child starts in grade 7, then he wants to go in grade 8. Then, of course, grade 9. And I see you all extend to grade 11, right? And he goes every year, right? Would they be learning new things every year? Or how does that go about if I'm a repeated camper?
Yep. So I would say that the beta camp, there's some similar themes year to year, but every year you could look forward to new challenges, new design projects, new activities on the various streams. One of the things beta we pride ourselves on is actually being innovative. And so what we like to do is to invite the children to think about things in a different way. And so every year we see different types of design projects where they'll have a unique problem to solve and they will put forward those solutions. So even if a student attends beta, did last year, they won't get the exact same experience in the following year because the theme changes, the design projects change, the instructors change, the volunteers change, and so there's a variety there, and there's a different learning experience each year when we have camp.
And the students has changed, right? The students who's come back, they are a bit more learned, they're a little smart, and so their perspective also has changed, right? So I imagine it may be a similar thing, but they approach it differently, right? And have that new experience.
Let's go to the walkthrough, okay? Cargill, let you do this. I registered my child down. I paid online. They say come to Life Key. What's the steps? I drive all the way to Life Key. Step 1, what happens?
So the first day we have is registration, and so we make sure that all of the students are checked in. Make sure that we have the
So
list.
I, as a parent, have to be there for like that 10 minutes, 20 minutes to make sure all the paperwork is done properly.
Yeah, that's the best. Right now, we're trying to get a lot of those things done virtually, so they won't have to be there in person, especially because we know that the distance of Life Key is a little difficult for some persons. So we're going to try to do some of those online, and we want to but the first thing we do is we make sure, tally up all the students that are there, make sure that we have everyone who is supposed to be there, and see the students that didn't come, and basically get a running check of the student list.
Okay, so that's the first half an hour-ish, right?
Yes.
Then what happens?
And then we go into introduction of Beta Camp, what Beta Camp is, what they can expect from Beta Camp, what the schedule looks like, divvying up the stream assignments, which they should get before they come to camp, but making sure that each student knows where they're supposed to be going, which stream or which discipline they're going to. And then after that, they go into their first lessons with their stream.
So I noticed like basically a 9 to 5 type of school, right? Or camp, right? I see people calling now so we get to engage. I'm in my class. Explain that. What's happening? General information. So parents could be comfortable with, okay, I see what my child doing.
So the first thing you do is introductory. We introduce each stream introduces the students to that particular discipline, like the basics of that discipline, what they'll be learning for that week. Some instructors go straight into hands-on activity on that day. Some do a little more theory before they go into the practical. And then we have lunch. I also want to shout out to Mexicaba.
Mexicaba providing food?
Yes.
My child likes Mexicaba, by the way.
They are a sponsor. They are a sponsor partner with Beta Camp this year, and they'll be providing food on the first day of camp.
Okay, so definitely don't miss the first day.
Don't miss the first day.
I see we have a caller here. Let me engage the caller, so just in case they want to ask a question I didn't ask, right? Or Aaron didn't ask. Go ahead, caller.
Well, yeah, I would like to. I have an autograph book written by Mark Ludwig, the giant black book of computer viruses. And my favorite one is the memory resident virus, one that the TSR, that terminates and stays resident. I am wondering if we can use viruses to assist kids with learning. Well, give an example. Some kids are complaining to me that in the school learning system, they are faced with, because every course is a language, and I kind of like math. But what they're faced with is we have teachers who have accents, and they sometimes slip into their accent and lose the children. Are you able to design a software so that everyone would hear the teacher, let's say wherever he's from, when he slips into his little accent, he will still come across audible and intelligent enough for the kids to understand what they're saying, because that might be a reason why we are not doing well in school.
There's an app for that already. It's called Comprehension Skills. Sir, come on. You're saying that because we have foreign-speaking teachers, that students are saying that they have a difficulty connecting with foreign-speaking teachers because of the accent. The accent is so heavy, it distorts the English.
They are complaining about it, as if. And my recommendation to them was to just try and learn that accent.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Be a workaround other than having to buy something.
Yeah.
Right. But I really like the show.
But I mean, of course, there are apps that exist today that will interpret, right? So you would get an app that would interpret Spanish to English. It'd be an AI. It'll be an AI voice, right? But
in real time.
Yeah, it works in real time as well.
Okay, but that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, caller.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. Trinica, what is Cloud Caribe again? I remember that's a sponsor, and I didn't know exactly what's that again.
Yeah. So Cloud Caribe is a company that offers a lot of cloud hosting services to various companies in the Bahamas, including the government as well. So when you think about servers, right, and data centers and things that where you need to host things in the cloud, they are a huge part of producing and providing that in the Bahamas. So huge shout out to Olivia.
And they are one of your sponsors this year again?
Yes, again, for like the 7th or 8th year.
I need good people. I need to know them so I can get some help.
Something that the caller said, can we use viruses to create positive apps, right? Can we take like something that's inherently, or we think is inherently bad, and he referenced the memory tracker virus.
Right.
I think we could build a great tool for parents who want to track what it is their kids are doing and saying real time. They know that their kids are savvy. They know their kids know how to clear the memory. Right. They know how to erase the search history.
Gotcha.
But could have an app that was designed as a virus to track your keystrokes be used to document what it is your kids are doing real time or in a different mode?
Gotcha. That's an excellent question. And I actually did put the question to our web development lead, Edison Henschel. And Edison advised we don't have enough time to teach them those very complex concepts like virus. So they'll be looking at more introductory concepts. Mm-hmm. But of course, dealing with viruses is a bit more advanced. So as they once they get exposed to the coding world and they get into that world, they begin to learn that at a later stage in their development as a computer scientist. So it's a bit more advanced than what we do in this camp.
Cargill, you have 15 disciplines that is going to be taught at the school. Seven disciplines that will be taught at the school, right? At the camp. How does a child know which discipline they're going to? Or how is that decision made?
So in our application, we have the option so you can choose which stream or discipline you would like. On the website, we have a little detail of each discipline and what it would entail. So if a student isn't sure about what that discipline would entail, they can just go to our website, wearebeta.co, and they can find a little bit more information about each stream and each discipline, and they can decide, or they can select undecided, and we can place them based on availability. Now, one thing we strongly advise is if there's a student or students who know exactly which stream they want to go to, we have short answer portions to our application form. We strongly advise them to fill that out and give as much detail as possible on why you want to do that stream. Mm-hmm. If you have had any experience with that stream before, because if we have an overwhelming amount of students wanting to apply to one stream and we can only host a certain amount, we will definitely use that information to base on which student goes into which stream. So we have a first option, second option, third option. I'm not sure if we have a fourth option, but we base that off of the information that students provide in applications.
I know you guys said there's a design element to the camp. Yes. So I'm a kid, I'm coming. I don't know exactly which stream I want to go into, but I have an idea, right, for the design part.
Yes.
Would you place me based on the elements of my idea? So, for instance, I build a cruelty-free raccoon trap. Raccoons running wild. I don't know what I need to learn to be able to do that, right? I have a cat, so I want a cat house, but I want to know that only my cat or other cats will get in and not the raccoon. would it combine mechanical and the software
Right.
streams?
Yeah, so something like that would combine software, mechanical, and electrical. If there is something that you want a little bit more clarity on, if you have a specific idea and you want to say, hey, which stream should I go into? That is an email question, or you can message us on Facebook and say, hey, my child is interested in these kinds of things. Can you suggest which stream might be best for them? And we can help direct a parent or a guardian into which stream you think you should choose or select based on their interests.
Okay, Simonette, I was remiss that I didn't talk about the volunteer.
Yes.
Do the volunteer mean to be learned by these scientists in STEM?
No, so we do have volunteers who are professionals.
And
as
how
well.
many people can volunteer? Like young, when I talk about 16, 17-year-olds who over that age point when they're supposed to be assistant, but they won't come?
Right. So we have had a lot of high school students have been volunteers. A lot of previous beta camp students, so persons who would have been as students in beta camp, and then as they got older, they wanted to stay plugged into the beta community. Those students tend to volunteer. Volunteers do everything from helping instructors with assignments to preparing lunches to just chaperoning the children to ensure that everybody stays where they're supposed to be, just to keep a control of the camp environment. Because, if we're managing, 75 kids, it could get a little hectic in a school environment.
You ain't asked the most important question, Newry.
What was it?
Will volunteers also be provided lunch and refreshments?
That is correct.
They get food.
That is
At
correct.
Mexicabo?
Volunteers will get.
Can I volunteer from the introduction one?
As a matter of fact, I want to make a mention. The data analytics is so real because when we mentioned that Mexicabo was providing lunch, we saw some subscriptions came in just now. It was like a spike.
The spike.
It was a spike.
Because I like Mexicabo food.
Yes.
If you don't have the Mexicabo food, I might as well come and volunteer and
Yes.
help. Like a chaperone.
Yes.
You go over there and learn that. I could do that.
We also have Tropical Gyro, who has said.
Oh, I love Tropical Gyro too.
That's
our cousin.
Another cousin in the house.
Cousin. Which day is Tropical Gyro? I come on that day.
I believe it is either Tuesday or Wednesday.
I shall be here Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh, wait, so every day is a different provider?
Yes, every day we have a different.
You won't get the same
So
food
listen,
every day
dear
at beta camp.
students, let's think about an app that helps fast food restaurant staff quicken their pace, right? Like, let's find an app that helps them to keep coordinated, and so that they can increase the pace at which they serve people, so they could increase the income, the profit they make every day, so staff could get better pay.
Trinika, going back to you, in terms of subscription, people filling up the place quickly. There tends to be like a spike and seats go on quickly.
Yeah, right now I think we're at a good pace in terms of what we've seen come through so far. I think we can still accept some more students, so we still have some availability there. But yeah, we're definitely starting to see where we're starting to get close to our numbers, or our cap, I should say, for this year. So definitely, if our parents are interested and students are interested, I would encourage them to definitely put in their application this week before we close it.
Okay, so during a recap, right, in terms of students who should definitely attend this camp, say, hey, let's clear our calendar. My child got to attend this, right? If my child is interested in engineering, should they make space and say, hey, come in?
For sure. Yes. If your child is interested in engineering, technology, if you see your child likes to build things, or wondered how things works, wants to take things apart, and you're frustrated, like, what is this child doing? That is an engineer mindset. So if that's the type of child you have, this is definitely something that would be good for them to come to.
What do I need to bring with me to camp? Do I need to bring my own electricity? For my tech people, they know I mean a power bank. They know I mean backup power for my devices. What do I need to bring? Do I need to bring pens, pencils? I need to bring a bag suitable to take my project home with me.
Extra water.
Right? Are we going to spend some time outdoors? Should I bring a hat? Should I bring shades? What do I need to bring with me for camp?
So usually you aren't required to necessarily bring anything. We are looking at seeing how many students are able to bring their own laptops. It's not a requirement. We also have some laptops being sponsored by Lifer Key as well for students to be able to use for the streams that require laptops. We are working on other projects within other streams, so knowing if students have either a tablet or laptop available is good to know. It's not something that's required. So if your student or your child doesn't have one, don't think that they can't come.
Now, I'm a young man, 10. I always work with my grandpa. summer holidays. He's a contractor.
Right.
I have my own toolkit. Can I bring my toolkit with me?
Yes.
Good
That's fine.
stuff. Yeah.
Because what we do, we use hands-on learning. And so if someone brings something and say, hey, I want you to explain this, that's a teachable moment right there where other persons who might not be exposed to an idea can now be exposed. In the civil stream, we've actually had, brought concrete blocks and steel and pieces of different building materials and said, hey, this is what this is used for. And this is why you use this versus this. We talk about asphalt versus concrete. These kids are exposed to these concepts now at a very early age. And so when they see the road work going on, they could actually speak intelligently about what they're seeing happening in front of them. In fact, what Beta has done over the years, too, we don't just do the hands-on in the camp. We actually go out and do field trips, too. We actually would go out to different factories. I know one time we went to the Coca-Cola factory. We've gone to different areas where we expose them hands-on to what's happening. And so they can actually see the processes and understand if you get an education in chemical engineering or electrical engineering, you could actually expect a career opportunity in these kinds of companies. So we expose them to that.
Go ahead.
I just got ideas, Mr. Newry. I need an app to tell me when the fruit ripe. Like, you have a lens, Google Lens, and you can look and identify. I need an app to tell me when the fruit's ripe. And then I need, on the mechanical, electrical side, I need a little tool that'll shoot a laser and cut the limb high up in the tree, because I can't get that high in the tree.
I think we need to bring you on board to assist us with our design challenge. I think that's because the idea you're coming up with. And I also wanted to talk a little more about the design challenge. We spoke about it briefly, but one of the biggest aspects of Beta Camp is the design challenge. And what it is we get students and we group them into groups of 4 to 5 students, and we try to shuffle the students as best as possible based on age, schools, grades. So the purpose is to try and shift out as much as possible, because we want students getting experience with other students from different backgrounds, different ages. And they come together and we give them a challenge, a specific challenge. It may be one specific one or one or two like we've had in the past. And they have to come together and they have to find a solution for this. They also make a presentation and they present their solution to judges. And we have prizes for first, second, and third, which is something that every year the students are really excited about, because they get to work with other students and they get to find solutions to real world problems, because these are things that are either happening right now or things that are important to the Bahamas that we try to focus on and find solutions that students can actually use. Like, we've had some really good ideas come from these students. Some of these solutions that the students brought up, there are things that I would never have thought about. Things that I believe even the government would be interested in hearing, or companies would be interested in hearing these solutions.
We need a sensor camera app for the public transportation system, so we could track buses real time. They don't have to follow a schedule. The app we could be able to read, and just like Google Maps, and I could be able to identify where that bus is, wherever it is.
Can we just get a list of all of the things that you think we need? Because this is
a multi-million-dollar ideas right there.
So, Trinika, Life at Key School tends to be a supporter, proponent of special needs kids, autistic, handicap, or physically challenged kids. Does the Beta Camp have any consideration? Sorry to throw this round.
But for young people with physical or intellectual disabilities,
but want to still be a part of these type programs.
I think we're still open to that. We've seen some students come through in previous camps that have been autistic, and we've worked with them. It's just that we have to kind of understand in the very beginning, like, what are the challenges there, so that way we can accommodate for that as best as we can. So as long as we know about it, we can work with it. So I think that's where we're at right now. But normally, it's mainly autistic kids that we've seen come through in the past.
So just need to put that on the application forms, and then you can work on it to see the possibilities.
Because you're building robotic arms, I imagine that young people with physical disabilities may be sparked to figure out a prosthetic that works in the tropics.
So we have 4 minutes now. Trinika Roll Dukes, trying to remember that last name now, Miss Roll. Details again, because I'm getting a text now saying when and where is this camp, because they need the information. So just start all over there again. When, where, how long the weeks go, and stuff like that.
Yeah, the camp is July 22nd through the 27th, and it runs pretty much 8 to 5 p.m. every single day, so a full work day for the parents who would appreciate that. And then what we do, again, we have about 7 different disciplines. We're targeting 75 to 80 students. Right now, we're about 60% capacity, so we do have room to accept more students right now. and it's going to be at Life for Key International School. So that is the camp right now. And I will want to provide an opportunity to say, too, that what we've done in the past, yes, we do provide scholarships. A student have to say that on their application if they need some sort of financial aid. And we've also provided partnerships with the Ranfully Home, and we brought in students from that home as well and funded their entire camp experience as well. And so we were very big on giving back to the community when we do what we do.
And I appreciate you for that. And remind me about your co-partner again, because last time she was on the show. Just remind me about her, since give her credence again. Thanks.
Yes, yeah, DeAndre Wilson Ihajirika. So she lives in Canada and she's a chemical engineer.
She's our cousin too.
She's on our cousin.
Yes. That's
all of your family.
That's my colleague Fran Dillett's daughter.
Ah, nice.
And Fran's husband is our cousin, so it makes all of them our cousins.
Will she be coming down this year too?
Yes. She'll be here. Yes.
Oh, okay, the whole team could be here. I'm excited about that. So I just get asked, what time? Like from when to when is the camp?
From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
So they have to be on site at 8 a.m. in the morning, and that runs until 5 p.m.
Yes. Yeah, and they can come around 8:30. It's fine too. But just like we officially start at 9, but we ask parents to drop kids off early,
Okay.
so we can do a lot of the check-ins and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. And give me the date one more time and the contact.
So
July
we
22nd through the 27th. Oh, was that Albion?
Yes, Beta Camp. So if you can Google search Beta Camp, wearebeta.co, wearebeta.co, wearebeta.co. Check us out. We're on social media, we're online, and join us July 22nd, 27th.
Listen, Newry, as
We
they
have
go.
Facebook, Instagram.
Father's
Beta
Day is on Friday. I need to find a daddy app. I need to adopt a daddy for Father's Day. I need to find a daddy app.
Thank you very much, Miss Dukes. Thank you very much, Miss Cargill. Thank you very much, Mr. Simonet, my cousin. Again, until next year again.
Yes.
Have a wonderful
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you, Aaron.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.